Me on Terror Machine. This is your monthly love reading for the month of September 2017, and this will be for the sign of Aquarius. So let me go ahead and give these cards a shuffle to see what energies you be working with for the month. Okay, what you have in the center of the reading is the Queen of Coins in the upright. So you could be meeting a person that is very nurturing, but they like to kind of wine and dine a person. They uses their money for trying to get a person into a relationship, and they use money as the levitation to another person. And this could, you could be doing this to somebody, or somebody can be doing this to you, but you see this person as being a person that is financially stable within themselves and what they build for themselves. Maybe a person see that in you, or you see that in a person that you're talking to be in a one-on-one relationship with. And that's for singles, that this person is presenting themselves as being two together, and financially they're very independent, and they don't need to get into a relationship just to get some kind of financial security when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship. This person that you could be meeting can be using their financial status as a kind of as a levitational tool when it comes to talking to a person about being in a one-on-one relationship. Either they're doing this to you, or you're doing this to them, that you presenting uh, money as one of those things that can help build a one-on-one relationship if that person got with you to be in a one-on-one relationship. If you already coupled up, what it's saying, either you're coming off like this or your companion's coming off like this, that they're being more concerned with the more grounded stuff in your relationship, and they rather nurture that part of the relationship to make sure that that's intact, so later on down the line it does not cause a confliction in your relationship or your union with your companion. Either you're coming off like this or your companion is coming off like this, that they rather be focused on the more tangible things in your relationship and keeping that in line, so that won't cause a disruption with your union with your companion. What you have underneath you is the Five of Swords in the upright. So the Five of Swords in the upright, if you're single, you could be meeting a person that comes off with this attitude that they have to win at everything, or their whole mindset is that if they're trying to pursue a person to be in a one-on-one relationship, they would do it by any means just to get that person that they're levitated to, and they don't care who else is in the fold trying to talk to you or trying to present themselves to you to be on in a one-on-one relationship. This person wants to be the main one, and they will do certain things to make sure that they're still on the winning side, to be in light, to be in a one-on-one relationship with you. Either you're coming off like this to somebody you're talking to, or somebody's coming off like this to you, that when it comes to being in a relationship with you, they're pulling all the stunts basically, and they don't care how it is actually looking like or what the after effect of it is. They just care that there is the front and center when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship with you. Either you're coming off like this to somebody, or somebody is coming off like this to you. If you already coupled up, it's saying that no matter what kind of things that you're putting on in your relationship to help it be more solid, something is going to be sacrificed for that, because with the Five of Swords, usually it's a victory, but it comes with a cost, or you lose something. You're not going to have your cake and eat it too. You're either going to take that win and lose something else on the back end, or you're going to hurt somebody in that process for you to obtain that. So what it is with coupled up is saying whatever idea or something that you bring it in that could bring a positive effect to your relationship or your bond with your companion, you're going to lose something else. You're going to lose something else that you maybe did not want to take out of your relationship, that was one of the components that helped your relationship be more in union with your companion. But whatever this thing that you're trying to put in your relationship is better, it's going to take a sacrifice of you getting rid of something that you may not want to get rid of out of your union with your companion. Either your companion is thinking this with this new idea or whatever this action is, or you're doing this with the companion. What you have in the past is the Queen of, you have the Empress in reverse. So the Empress in reverse is, if you're single, you was dealing with a person that was coming off kind of needy, coming off more selfish and self-centered for their own individual need or what they want. They was probably coming off whiny and bitchy because they couldn't have it their way when they was talking to you to be in a one-on-one relationship. Maybe you seen that from this person in the past. Maybe you was doing this to somebody, or somebody was doing this to you, that they were just coming off that they had to have it when they had to have it, basically. And they was coming off that they would get in a relationship just to satisfy their own personal need and their own fulfillment. Either you came off like this in the past with somebody, or somebody came off like this in the past with you. Maybe you could have met a person that wanted to have children and comes to find out they couldn't have children. That could be another option, because Empress in reverse is basically, I hate to use the term, a lady that's barren, that they can't have children. So I hope I'm using the right word, but they couldn't have children, and you found out later in line, later down the line, that they couldn't do that, and maybe that was one of those things. You was probably ready to start a family, and this person just wasn't that mode due to that issue, and they could have thought this about you, or you thought this about somebody in the past too. If you coupled up, maybe when you're couple up and the Empress in reverse is saying maybe you was trying to have a child in the past and it just wasn't working out. That's one aspect. Or your companion was coming off one-sided and had to be catered to all the time just to make sure that they were still focus of attention, that you was turning all your attention to them to kind of stroke their ego or try to keep them in line so they wouldn't go out of control to be whiny or bitchy or something like that. So either your companion came off like this in the past, or you came off this like this in the past, and they was coming off at that time cold about it or callous about it, or they came off that no matter what you did for them, it was not enough for them, and they could be having that aspect that you was dealing with that with your companion in the past. Either your companion came off like this, or you came off like this with your companion. What you have on top of you is the Seven of Cups in reverse. The Seven of Cups in reverse is saying that if you're single, it's saying that you probably is only focused on one person to be in a one-on-one relationship, or you found the one that fits you and you don't want nobody else to talk to, because you're trying to pursue one person at a time. You're probably kind of cut back of having different candidates on the table to talk to, so you can home down on the right one that fits for you. Either this person you're talking to is coming off like this, that you're the only one in their scope, or you're coming off to this person that you're presenting that you so and focus only on that one person, and you're presenting it to a certain point that they is the only person you're talking to, and there's nobody else in the fold that is competing to be in a one-on-one relationship with you, and you may be presenting this to this one particular person to be in a relationship with. If you already coupled up, it's saying that you're going back down to square one when it comes to bringing in ideas that will help your union with your companion. You're not trying to put a lot of stuff on the table with them so they can choose, and they may choose the wrong thing that may not be a benefit to your union as a couple. So you're deciding to bring one idea or one kind of thing to the table so your companion can kind of digest that and kind of levitate to it to bring it into the relationship to see if it's going to help your union with your companion. Either your companion is doing this or you're doing this, is trying to bring singular ideas to the table or singular options to the table so you won't overwhelm your companion with different things that could help or may not help the relationship at one time going through the month of September. The last card you have is the Palace of Swords. Now, with this I got a new deck. It's called the Tarot of Dreams deck. So you get five extra cards. This is representing more of a mind state, and it's the Palace of Swords. So the Palace of Swords in this deck is representing that you are super in tuned to your air element. So basically, you are thinking right, you know what you want, you know how to present yourself in a certain way or in a positive light. Every time you basically are talking to people, you're winning every time because you're striking that note every time, and you're at your full mental capacity to digest whatever somebody is bringing to you. You know how to analyze it, and you know how to take the information, filter it, and see what it can be a benefit for you or not being a benefit. And it's saying that your judgment, when it comes to, once you think about it, your judgment is on point. Is actually higher than the high priestess in this deck. That means you're just super online. So what it is if you're single, if you're meeting somebody, what's going to end up happening in September is you may read the person soon. You can actually read and tell based on how somebody is presenting themselves. Is saying that whatever information they're trying to tell you about themselves to be in a one-on-one relationship, you kind of foresee where it's going verbally because you've taken their information and analyzing it to such a point that it's like almost your brain is operating like a computer almost. So you're taking whatever this person is bringing to you, either if it's positive or negative, you're ripping the information, whatever they say, you're ripping it apart in your brain and see if it's fitting for you or not fitting for you. Either you're going to meet somebody like this that no matter how you talking to them, they already know where you're headed at when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship, or you doing this with somebody that's talking to you that you just basically, as soon as they say it, it's on. You know if you can work with it or you don't work with it. So it's more of a super mental card, and that's what mind state you may be going to when it comes to one-on-one relationships in the month of September. You're trying to find the one candidate or the one particular person that is triggering all your mental senses, that whatever they saying is perfectly in line with what you saying and where you want to head at when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship. You may be meeting somebody like this, or you were presenting yourself like this to somebody when you're talking to them about being in a one-on-one relationship. If you already coupled up, it works the same way, but it's saying that you and your companion will have a more solid relationship if you can sit down with your companion and talk everything out and kind of put all the information out there, so it's left to interpretation, it's left to the person to analyze it and interpret it and make a judgment call on it and see and get in tune verbally and with good dialect when it comes to setting something up that could be a positive benefit for your relationship. Either your companion is going to be high tuned like this, or you're going to be high tuned when your companion is bringing these ideas to the table. You being really on point to see where they're going when they're presented. You're seeing where what they want from it, where it's trying to go, where the ending result is by you visualizing in your head based on the words that's bringing brought back to you. I know with this deck is weird because it has the extra cards, but they have the extra cards in it to give you extra clarity. They're almost like um um they almost like extra power cards when it comes to this deck, but when they're in the upright, they become super powerful, and when they're in the reverse, they become straight garbage. So this is one of the new decks I ended up getting. So it's just saying that with couples and singles that are trying to get into relationships or trying to craft their relationships that they already in better, that they're going to be in tune mentally to carve whatever they want when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship. So let's go ahead and get some clarifiers on a couple of these reversals, and let's just see first with this Empress of what was really going on with this person. Judgment in reverse. What it's saying is no matter what in the past, either you came off like this or somebody came off like this to you for the single Aquarius. What it's saying is no matter what angle that you was hitting trying to get with this person or trying to carve out their issues, you was not going to win. You was not going to get a fair shake with it, or this person was presenting themselves so bad they would never get a fair shake when it comes to talking to somebody um to be in a one-on-one relationship. Maybe it was the way they presented themselves, maybe it was the way they was acting, maybe they was coming off the cold and callous and it was making them not win on the situation when it was about getting into a one-on-one relationship with somebody, but they wasn't winning. Whatever it was, they wasn't winning because they was presenting themselves in such a non-nurturing negative light that no matter how they talked it up or tried to dress it up, it just was not going to go nowhere. They made themselves look ugly. Either you came off like this with somebody in the past or somebody came off like this in the past, because no matter what they were saying, they was getting no traction, no love. They was getting shut down. They was getting everything in the book, doors closing. They was the wallet empty it out. I don't care. They was getting all the negative aspects based on the way they was presenting themselves to somebody else. Because with judgment, for a true judgment to come through in somebody's favor, it has to be looked at from an outside source. And it's an outside source of yourself. And way they was presenting themselves to other people, they wasn't winning. They was just not getting that win in it. So either you came off like this with somebody in the past or somebody came off like this to you in the past. If you um already coupled up, it's saying that either your companion did this or you did this. By them presenting themselves in such a way, you was not going to move or either cater to whatever they was talking about, because you already seen that it was going to go all bad regardless if they forced you into doing it or you did it on your own free choice. You already seen it was not going to win either way it goes. You kind of wanted something else to be brought to the table that had a little bit more nurturing and caring to it, but whatever they was bringing to you, you was shutting it down. You was not going to try to put it into a relationship, and you knew even if you did it willingly or unwillingly, it was not going to have a positive effect on your relationship. Either your companion did this in the past to you, or you did that to them. So let's go ahead and put some more. Uh oh, one flipped out on you. Page of Cups in the upright. So for singles, what it's saying is whoever this person is that was presenting themselves in a weird way and was getting shut down, either this person was younger than you or you was younger than the person you was talking to, and they just did not know how to interpret their emotions. They was too newly feeling everything out, and maybe you was more of a mature person and you was looking for something more solid, and these people came, this person came, and what they was presenting emotionally was basically too childish for you. It was kind of beneath you. I'm hearing beneath you. I'm hearing that you was past that point when it came to being in one-on-one relationships. It says that you went and had your round and your feel for it already, and this person you was talking to was just not, they was coming off callous and non-nurturing. Whatever they saying, they wasn't winning on it, and they was just too young. They just emotionally didn't know where they was fitting in, and they was hoping to get in a relationship with you to help them get a footnote on their emotions when it came. They wanted to be taught. They wanted to be taught by being in a relationship. That's what I'm really hearing. They wanted to be taught. They wanted that true lesson by being in a relationship. That's what I'm hearing. Either you came off like this in the past, or somebody in the past came off like this to you, that you wanted your lesson in love to be taught to you by you having your foot up in it. So that's what I'm getting for singles. If you already coupled up, it almost is going the same way. What I'm getting is whatever your companion was bringing to the table to help make your bond better, you felt that one, the ideas were too new, or they just was never tried out before, or they was just too immature for the level of your relationship, and it was like, okay, we moved past that. We moved past that point in our relationship. Us trying to bring this in wasn't going to make either a difference in our relationship, because we matured past a certain point with our bond. Either your companion was thinking like this in the past, or you was thinking like this about whatever this idea that they was bringing to the table to help the relationship. You felt it was just one too childish, and it kind of left your emotions all over the board and left your bond and union all over the board, because it was just something too kind of too, it was too infantile for the state of your relationship. That's what I'm getting. Whatever this idea that they was trying to bring into the past to help the relationship, you know. Or when I had mentioned pregnancy, maybe your relationship was too new, that you was kind of shutting down the idea of having a baby because your relationship was too new, and it wouldn't have helped your situation, especially if you're newly joined up. Having a baby off the bat wasn't doing it unless your stuff was two together, so you can support that kind of life in your union. And you thought it was probably not the right time, because you needed more time in your relationship before thinking about having children. So the idea kind of got junked down or shut down real quick, because it's just too new for your relationship. I'm getting that, and I'm definitely getting that for couples. Because maybe the idea of being in a relationship was to start this big family, but you needed your stuff more two together, and the idea, it was just brought up at the wrong time because it was just too new. Your relationship is too new. So I'm getting that for the couples. Let's see about the Seven of Cups. Why you sticking with the singular thing? Oh, that one didn't want to go in. Okay, you got the moon in reverse. So for singles that's dealing with focusing on this one person that you may want to get in a relationship with, maybe this one person you getting in a relationship with is telling you the truth. They're not trying to hide no secrets. So that's maybe one of those things you like about this person. You already know the person is two together when it comes to their own independence and their own security, when it comes to their own financial living or their independence, and they're being honest and putting all their stuff on the table. So you looked at him or her, and they present themselves in the clearest light possible. They're not trying to hide nothing about their past or their future or where they want to go. They're not trying to tell you anything that you want to hear just to get in a relationship. They're just dropping the way they live and the truth they live by to you, and you're finding that as being more appealing because you finding it being real honest when it comes to dealing with a person like that, to be in a one-on-one relationship. Either you're coming off like this with somebody, or somebody will be coming off like this with you. If you already coupled up, is what it's saying is that whatever this idea that you bring in into the relationship, you giving your companion all the information they need to make a logical decision to see if they want to put it in a relationship, to help it be a benefit. You got this information, you presented it to them, this one singular option or idea, and you kind of did your studies on it, and you kind of know what you're talking about, and you're presenting it in such a clear way to your companion without trying to rope them on to make them do something in some kind of smoke screen kind of way. So they're, and you're giving them the information as clear as possible for them to make a decision, if to see if this one thing you're going to bring in is going to be a positive to your union with your companion. Either your companion is doing this, or you're doing this with the companion, and or you're both as a couple sitting back is working on this one single idea and collecting the cleanest information, so y'all both can make a logical decision to interact it in your relationship to see if it's going to bring a better bond with you and your companion. So let's see what the last card is. Let's see what the last card is. Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords in the upright. So, if you're single, it's saying that you're trying to look for companions. Usually, the Ten of Swords, they say the Ten of Swords is the ending of a period that you've been stabbed in the back and you about to start back over on a new adventure. You know, it's almost like 10 and 1 is the same thing in tarot. So, what it is you may be ready to find a companion that is, or get into a one-on-one relationship with somebody that is not bringing all this mental strife to you. Because if they bring in mental strife to you and you're operating at a full mental capacity, it's creating a confliction of how you're thinking about being in a one-on-one relationship with this certain type of person that's coming to you. That could be you dealing with this new person, and it's helping you close a chapter of dealing with people in your life that gave you a lot of strife, and you ready to start back over again with this new person because they're coming with this clean information. Instead of you focusing on a bunch of people, you may have did that in the past, you focusing on this one person because they have the clean information, and you're hoping that one person that's being clear and honest about what they're talking about when it comes to themselves and being in a one-on-one relationship within a certain period of you being with people in the past that was causing you a lot of, I want to say, mental torture, really, that had your head going around in circles when you was dealing with them in a relationship. Either they see this in you, or you see this in this new person, that they can end a certain pattern in your relationships that you always getting a person that is mentally causing you strife, or having you always thinking and worrying about them, or them not having their head wrapped on too tight, and you have to think almost for two people when you're in your union with being in a one-on-one relationship. If you already coupled up, it is going the same way that this new idea that you're working on, you're also is hoping that it will kill certain things you was worried about in your relationship, and most of it is your union still intact with you and your companion after x amount of years, and you figuring this new idea would kind of put a new rejuvenation in your bond. And by you doing that, you're researching the information, you're making it, let's just work on this one thing, here's all the information about it, and you're hoping that it can start you back over on a new kind of mental slate when it comes to your union with your companion. Either your companion is thinking this, you're thinking this with your companion, or y'all both made a decision, okay, it's time to kill all this mental stuff that's going on in our relationship. So we're going to work on this aspect, this one idea, and this should kind of end this kind of pattern from ongoing in your union with your companion. So I hope you like this reading. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Go ahead and leave your comments at the bottom. You can thumb the video up or down, and I'll talk to you later.